All right, so you want to take your book from non-existent in Amazon's rankings and you want to bring those up to the top 100. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to share one method that I use to take my little book. It's on pricing for freelancers. How I took that book basically from unranked all the way up to number 8 in Amazon bestseller list. And one caveat here, I'll come back to in just one second. You can see it also made it to number 11 right here, number 20 in this category, number 58 in that category. It made it up to number 8 in starting a business. So I'm going to show you how I did this. Now, important distinction here, which you don't typically hear people talk about, is the fact that in Amazon, on Kindle, there are two different forms of what they call quote unquote best sellers. One of those is top paid and the other one is top free. Now, they don't make really a distinction other than this small text right up here is where they make a distinction. Now, I'm going to take you and show you how I took my book and I catapulted it up to the number 8 quote unquote bestseller, even though it was in the top free category. Now, I normally do sell the book, but I will show you how I used a free promotion to help bring my book up to number 8 on the list. But before we do that, let's take a look at where the book currently sits today. So this is over on the Amazon page. And you can see right here that it's currently number 669 in the starting a business category. It's number 1057 in the small business category, and it's ranked number 2018 in the business and money category. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to walk you through how for less than $100 and in only a few days you can take your book and bring it up to hopefully the top 100. So we're going to see what happens. I'm going to do this in real time for you. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to come over to the Kindle Direct Publishing Center, right? So if you publish your book as a Kindle on Kindle format, you know what this is. So you're going to log in, you're going to find your book, and over on the right, you're going to click on Promote and Advertise. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to come down here where it says Run a Price Promotion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Free Book Promotion. I'm going to create a new free book promotion and we can run it up to 5 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to schedule this to start today and I'm going to schedule it to end on Thursday. Okay, save those changes. So this is going to be a real-time experiment where I attempt to repeat what I did before and we're going to see if I can make this happen again. Now, there's no guarantee that I'll be able to pull this off again. And again, the big distinction here is this is going to be a top best-selling book. Hopefully, I'm going to make it into the top 10, but this book is going to be a free book. Now, again, if you go back to this page, you'll see that they don't make it very clear. Start running today. It's going to run for a couple of days. Now, how are we going to take our book from basically non-existent in the sales list to hopefully get it in the top 10 over a couple day period? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to rely on the power of Facebook. Now, I know a lot of you out there are skeptical, and the reason that you're so skeptical is because you've used that dreaded button, that button called Boost Post. Now, you can use Boost Post. There's nothing inherently wrong with clicking the button. However, it is not designed to deliver results, at least not in the way that I'm going to show you how to make and get results with Facebook today. So before we do that, one thing that's very important is we want to go out and we want to understand that we're marketing only to territories, only to geographic regions that have access to Kindle books. So here I am on managing the availability of your book. And so you want to make sure within your settings for your book, and I'll put a link to this somewhere here on the page around below the video in the message. There will be a link to this page inside the KDP Amazon site. And so what, first of all, you want to make sure is that you've got your book set up to be distributed across the world to all these territories, okay? The next thing you want to do is when we go into Facebook and we start setting up these ads, what we want to do is we want to ensure that we set up our ads so that we target these countries. Now, here's an interesting thing. Ads on Facebook in the US are fairly expensive. Why? Very, very simple. Supply and demand. So what we want to do, and so that we ensure our budget goes as far as possible, we want to target other countries, countries other than the United States. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. So you'll want to keep this list handy as we go in and begin setting up our ads in Facebook. Now I'm going to flip over here to something called Facebook Power Editor. Okay. Now, if you're not familiar with Power Editor, let me know. I've got other videos. I can help you get familiar with Power Editor. If you haven't been using Power Editor, trust me when I say this, you're not getting the highest ROI from your Facebook ads. Okay. You're simply not getting the highest ROI. So this is Power Editor. It's an official tool built by, designed by, used by Facebook itself. Okay. Within Power Editor, you will have the ability to customize campaigns, to customize ads on Facebook, unlike ever before. Okay. What you can do here in Power Editor far exceeds what you're able to do through the Ads Manager, and especially if all you've been doing is clicking Boost Posts. So what we're going to do is go ahead and create a new campaign. Now, I'm going to move fairly quickly through this, and the reason I'm going to move quickly through this is because the point of this video is not to show you how to use Power Editor. The point of this video is to quickly show you how to run a campaign that is hopefully going to take your book from non-existent to a bestseller. So what we're going to do is go ahead and title this campaign name. And what we want to do is I'm going to use clicks to a website because I'm going to send people directly to the Amazon page to grab the book for free. I just set up the ad set name using the exact same and the ad, and I'm going to create a new one. So again, we're not going to make any changes here on the campaign name itself. We're going to go under the ad set, and this is where we're going to start making some changes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my budget as a lifetime budget, and I'm going to set it again for $100. We're not going to spend more than $100. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start the ad on the 22nd, and what I want to do is I want to move this back because we are starting this on the 22nd, and we're starting it around the world in various countries. Now, when you set these times here in Power Editor, these times apply in the region that your ad is running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it early tomorrow morning, 22nd, and I'm going to run through late on the 23rd. All right, got that set. Now we're going to start diving into audiences here, okay? And the very first thing we want to do is we want to flip back over to our list. And what we're going to do is we're going to start right here with the United Kingdom, okay? Oh, put that in the wrong spot. Here we go. United Kingdom. Perfect. Go straight back over here. And we want to do all of these. Now, we're going to have to do them one at a time, and that's okay. So you have to just bear with me as I scroll across. And what I'll do for the sake of time, a little bit of time lapse here and speed this up. But you get the point. All I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm adding all of these countries where the Kindle format is available. So let me finish these and I'll speed this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've got all these locations, all these countries added. And what I want to do, you can see my reach is way too broad right now, okay? 478 million people, way too broad for a good campaign. So what I want to do now is I want to begin customizing and selecting, narrowing down this audience. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I'm targeting people who speak English, okay? So that dropped it over half, right? So that dropped it down under 200 million people. Great. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to begin targeting people, right? Because my book is a very specific topic. It's for freelancers and it's teaching them how to increase their prices. So what I want to do is I want to begin targeting people. So freelance. And then what I want to do is I want to go for freelancer. Freelancer.com. And so you can see it starts popping up suggestions for me. Odesk, Elance, Fiverr. Let's take a look. Freelance, Upwork, outsourcing, self-employment, freelance jobs. That may be another interesting one. Let's look. We're at 3 million people now, right? So we went from over 470 million all the way down to only 3 million people. So we've done a good job of bringing that audience way back down into a more reasonable, more realistic audience. So I'm just going to look around here, keep adding a few that make sense. And again, there's not really magic behind what I'm doing. I know my audience. I sort of know their interest. And so what I'm doing is I'm just continually adding things that they may be interested in. Freelance designer, freelance design, freelance web designer, freelancing work. There you go. So again, we're at about 3.5 million people, 3.3 million. And that should be about right for us right now. Freelance web design. Perfect. Okay, so that's a decent size audience. Now, again, we're targeting all of these countries, reaching 3.4 million people is the potential reach. Now, based on our budget, you can see over here how many people we're going to possibly reach. So 13 to 35,000 people a day based on that and based on those categories. So I'm going to remove audience network. I'm going to remove right column, and I'm just going to keep those other two. Now, you'll see what happened is it dropped it way down. It dropped that down to 9,000 to 24,000. So it's a pretty big drop. Now watch, if you add back in audience network, you see that? Yeah, pretty interesting, huh? So you want to watch your numbers on the number of people you want to reach. You want to reach as many people as possible for your small ad budget, okay? Now, there's nothing else on this part we're going to mess with at this point. So what I'm going to now do is go over to the actual ad itself. Ad with a video or an image. First of all, we got to choose the page that we're going to run this from. Now, you may not have to do this if you've got a lot of pages, or you've got a single page, sorry. If you've got a single page, you won't have to worry about doing that. The next thing that we want to do is I want to come over here and I want to simply get a link to my actual book, right? I want to share this book. I want people, when they click it, I want them to come directly here. So I'm going to click this, and I'm going to copy this little short URL. Scroll back over. Where do I want people to go? Well, here's where I want people to go. There we go. Now, it gives me the ability to customize all of this information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start customizing it, okay? Now, let's see. Link URL description, URL optional, display URL. Yep, that's good. Yep, headline. free book today only. Now, a little side note here on your call to action button. You want to ensure that you keep that as non-threatening as possible. So if you were to put shop now, book now, apply now, any of those can be a little bit intimidating for people. So we recommend that you do like a watch now, or in this case, a learn more, okay? That way they know that they're not clicking on something where they're gonna be expected to buy, but what it does is it gives them the ability to go learn more about the book. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna edit this text description a little bit. Creating a buzz in the freelance world. Read this one before your Pedidor buzz. All right, so there we have our ad set up. Now, you could enter text up above if you wanted to, and this would appear up above the ad itself. So watch this. All right, so there we have our copy. And you can see, attention for you, I don't know how to drastically increase your prices as well as the number of inquiries you receive. Grab a free copy of our book today only. So there we have our ad, and we've got everything set up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and upload that. I'm going to upload that book straight to Facebook to review. And once they review, hopefully they'll approve that and we'll be set to go. And so what I'll do is I'll create status reports and send those along as they come in. Thanks again for taking the time to watch, and hopefully we'll break the top 10 again. Talk to you soon. Bye.